Hi, welcome back to WOW, the Wealth Optimization Workshops. Here with Scott Collier, the Call Dog. Busy working away here, talking now. We've already touched on a variety of investment concepts, retirement income planning, and we'll be diving deeper into different investment products as we go along here. Want to touch now on pensions. So these are more where there's a presumed income stream that you're going to be entitled to receive. Some of you may have a variety of these, some of you may have very little. So your retirement income, your ability to cover those basic living needs that we talked about is going to be dramatically impacted by which entitlements you have or do not have. So let's just touch quickly. We don't have the ability to dive real deep into all these advanced concepts, but just at a basic level. So most Canadians, assuming you meet the criteria as far as residency, are entitled to old age security. Currently, we're at $601.45 per month that you'd be entitled to if you receive old age security. Now, if you have very little of this or very little income sources in retirement, there is something called a guaranteed income supplement. The maximum you can receive is $898.32 per month currently. That is only for people who are pretty much just dependent on old age security for their income. So if you've got some of these other things, you won't be entitled to the guaranteed income supplement. Canada Pension Plan, that's a contributory work-connected pension where you have been contributing over the course of your working years into the Canada Pension. Your employer has been matching your contributions. Currently, maximum you can receive at age 65 is $1154.58. That assumes that you have been contributing the maximum amounts based on your income. So not everybody's going to receive that. You will receive the Canada Pension amount you're entitled to based on the contributions you and your employer has been making based on your income levels over your career. So hopefully that makes sense. Now with Canada Pension, while traditional age is 65, you have flexibilities here. You can take it as young as 60, delay taking it as old as 70, or somewhere in between there. So for every month that you take it younger than 65, you lose 0.6 of 1%. For every month you delay taking it beyond age 65, you gain 0.7%. So what does that mean? If you took it as young as age 60, you will get 36% less than your entitlement because you were getting it an extra 5 years. That makes sense? If you delayed it as long as age 70, you would get an extra 42% on top of your entitlement because you had received it for 5 years less, or in this case, 10 years less. So I guess there's pros and cons. You have to assess with your financial planner, do you need the income early? Does it make sense to delay income? Right? We don't have a crystal ball often to know our life expectancy. Right? If you delay it and then you pass away too young, maybe you didn't receive the CPP benefits you should have. On the flip side, if you live to be 100, then you may regret taking it early. So you just have to weigh those pros and cons. Traditionally, many people, certainly in our region, the auto workers, up around Hamilton, the steel workers, teachers, government workers, a lot of different employers that provided defined benefit pension plans. This is where you know exactly what you will be entitled to at retirement. It's based on your income, typically about 60% of your income, of your pre-retirement income. They'll look at either your average years or your final years as far as income. So each pension has its own defined criteria of how they determine your income stream, but that is an income stream for life. Hopefully you have an indexed defined benefit plan so that your pension value increases with inflation. Okay, there's spousal entitlements, typically 60% spousal. So if you pass away prematurely, your spouse would continue to receive 60% of your pension entitlement. Same thing with the Canada Pension for their life. So some factors there. Often more and more people do not have defined benefit pensions anymore. Defined contribution pensions have become much more common. What does that mean? How much is contributed into the pension is what gets defined. So you know, for example, 4% of your income every month goes into your defined contribution plan. The company maybe is matching identically 4%, 3 and 3, 6 and 6, whatever they've structured it at. In retirement, you choose your investment portfolio as you go along, so we do not know how much money you'll have at retirement. That will be determined based on how much is being contributed and how the investment's performed. So there's less guarantee, so to speak, with that type of pension versus that type. Usually people have one or the other. Some companies also offer what's called a deferred profit sharing plan, where they're essentially trying to build in a motivator to encourage people to work productively in the best interest of the company, and therefore they share back profits into what's called a deferred profit sharing plan to help for people's retirement. They may have pensions as well, or maybe it's just that piece. On rare occasions, we see people with IPPs, which stands for individual pension plans, or an RCA, which is a retirement compensation arrangement. That is typically only for higher net worth people, tends to be professionals or people with significant incomes who, rather than investing in something like an RRSP, have chosen to build out an individual pension plan or retirement compensation arrangements for their senior executives to provide money for them in retirement. Hope that makes sense. Look forward to talking to you soon.